Hey, what's up, guys? Happy New Year. It is 2018. Today is New Year's Day, and I'm sure a lot of you have the day off. I think most companies do, most businesses do. But I am hard at work today and working hard. But I wanted to do a review today of the two new Dave Chappelle stand up specials on Netflix. Um, I just watched them recently, and I don't know. I just wanted to talk about them. So that's what this channel is going to be like now. It's just like what I want to talk about. So um, hopefully you can get down with that. But I'm going to start this off by saying that I am a huge fan of Dave Chappelle and have been for a very long time. Um, Man, this looks like kind of blurry. Hopefully it's just my view of it. Um, Anyway, I've been a fan of Dave Chappelle since I saw Half Baked with my buddy Seth. We went to the theater and saw it, and we were in like sixth grade, seventh grade, and ever since then I've loved Dave Chappelle. Anything that he's done, um, stand-up specials, the Chappelle Show. Oh my God, I was such a fan of Chappelle's show. Like, I remember waiting each week. This is obviously before we had stuff like streaming and Netflix and stuff was just automatically available. You had to wait each week for a new episode of a show that you loved. And Chappelle Show was one of those shows where I did every single week, like 10 o'clock on whatever it was. I can't remember, Sunday night or Thursday night or whatever it was. But I just remember being pumped about it. Me and my friends would be like, "Oh, Chappelle Show's on in 20 minutes," and it's still one of the greatest shows to go back and watch. Like, you can watch it now on Netflix. Um, I actually owned all of them on DVD, like right after they came out. But anyway, so huge fan of Dave Chappelle, and I liked his um, comedy special that he came out with last year. Or maybe it was 2 years ago. I can't remember how long it was, but there was two of them, and they were really good as well. Um, Fun fact about Dave Chappelle, if you don't know this, he lives in Ohio. He actually lives in the town that we lived in right before we moved to Columbus. Um, Eva's lived there on and off for a long time. But it's about 15 minutes maybe from where I grew up. And he's lived there a good part of his adult life. And so a lot of people have seen him around. I've never personally seen him. Even when we lived in Yellow Springs, we didn't see him. I didn't anyway. I've never seen him out and about. But a lot of people say they do, and it seems like he's a cool guy. He just kind of keeps to himself and stuff. And I don't know. Anyway, he's talked about that here and there, about him living in this like hippie town. Because it is, like, the Yellow Springs is like this hippie town that's like, it kind of doesn't fit with everything all around it. It's like right in the middle of farm country, and it's just, yeah, it's just like a completely like super liberal, super hippie, like super laid back um, you know town, um, like a very liberal town right in the middle of a very conservative area. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. So I watched the new comedy specials, which is part one was called Equanimity. That was the first one, and the second one is the Bird Revelation, which I'm not really sure where that comes from. It's just being lost on me right now. But Equanimity was the first one, and in my opinion, this is some of the best stand-up I've ever seen Dave Chappelle do. And like I said, I've been a fan for a long time, and I love Dave Chappelle. This is him in some of his best form. Like, in my opinion, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was hilarious. He basically he got a lot of flack from like the transgender community for his last special, where he had some jokes about transgender issues or whatever. And what I liked about in this one is that he brought that up and basically doubled down. Like, he he doesn't come off to me as like it's transphobic or anything like that. It's just the way that Dave Chappelle is. He seems just like a normal guy to me, and probably reflects a lot of what normal everyday people think. And I think that's why I like him so much. Like, he's just really blunt about, like, especially men, like how men think. And he's just out with it. And that's what makes him so funny, is because you can relate to a lot of stuff that he says. And a lot of his views on things. So he basically doubled down on the transgender thing and made a lot more jokes about transgender community. But, like I said, it was funny and it was in good taste. It wasn't actually, I don't think, aimed at hurting anyone. But that's what's great about Dave Chappelle, is like he's not afraid to say controversial things, or he just, it's true comedy. Like, he doesn't censor his comedy based on what people might think about what he's saying or the backlash, and that's what makes it so great. It feels authentic. And this Equanimity was just comedy in its purest form. Like, it's like, comedy to me is off limits when it comes to like censoring people and being offended by things that people say and stuff like that. To me, I believe comedy should be off limits, like, always. I think in comedy you should be able to joke about basically anything, and because it is in good fun, and most of the time it is funny. And even if it's not funny to you specifically, it is to a lot of people. And I don't think there's any ill will in these jokes. It's just kind of bringing up controversial topics, and it may be hot buttons for some people. But that's why I love Dave Chappelle, is he's not afraid to go there. And he had some hilarious bits. It wasn't really about transgender community. It was about his interaction that he's had, with the transgender community because of his last comedy special, and it's just really funny. It's really funny. You should definitely watch this Equanimity. He also talks a lot about the Trump administration and what's been going on since the election. You can tell that these were recorded just recently. I mean, the first one, I don't know, maybe a month or two back. And the second one, definitely within the last month, it has been recorded, because of some of the issues that he talks about are very current. It's definitely current events that he's talking about that are still relevant, still in the news every day. His stuff about Trump and how Trump handles things and stuff, like, it was absolutely hilarious. And I would say, like, if you're a person that's going to be butthurt about someone making fun of the president or making fun of Donald Trump or whatever, maybe don't watch it. Maybe don't watch it. But, like, I'm not that person, and I think everything's funny. I think he makes some jokes about how it felt to vote for Hillary Clinton, and it was just really funny. I don't want to spoil it. So I'm not going to say any of the jokes that he says. Plus, I probably couldn't do them justice. But Equanimity, probably some of the best comedy, stand-up comedy that I've seen Dave Chappelle do, period. So definitely check that out. Okay, so then we get into part 2, or the second comedy special that was released. And it's The Bird Revelation. And it was a different atmosphere. The first one that I was talking about was filmed in DC, and I believe the second one was filmed in LA. And Davis said this is going to be his last comedy special, and I don't know what that means for how long, but as we know, he is known to go on hiatus. So he did 12 years. He didn't do anything in show business, so it's very possible we won't see him for a very long time. So anyway, part 2, or the second comedy special, was a little different. There was definitely some funny parts in it. He touches a lot on what's going on with the sexual harassment and sexual allegations that's going on right now with Hollywood, and with Harvey Weinstein, and also with members of Congress and stuff like that. And those parts are pretty funny that he's talking about. He does say some pretty funny things, like about Harvey Weinstein and even about like Michael Jackson and stuff. So those parts of it are funny, but it seemed to me like since this was his final show, he wanted to just talk, and that's cool. I thought he brought up some really important and insightful things. Like he had some very insightful points about society and about culture and about race and just the way things are right now, and even some history that's kind of enlightening, and it was good. It was good, but it's kind of like it was good if I was going to see that. Rated as a comedy special, though, I would have to say it's one of his least funny. I didn't find it that funny. There was a couple funny moments throughout where I laughed a little, compared to the first one where I was laughing out loud most of the time. But this was a little more serious, and I felt like it was intentional. Like he had some things to say, some serious things to say, and he wanted to say them. As this being his last show, he wanted to say them, and so I respect that, and I think it's really cool. But rating it as a comedy special, I would say, comedy-wise, wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny. But like I said, for what it was, for what he was trying to do, I think it was pretty cool. So anyway, I like that one. I probably wouldn't rewatch. You know what I mean? But I would definitely rewatch the first one, Equanimity. That one was it was hilarious. So anyway, it looks like he's going to be done for a while, which kind of sucks because I was really excited when he kind of came back into the picture a couple years ago. His Saturday Night Live hosting was awesome. When he played Negan on Saturday Night Live, I lost it the whole time. Oh my god, it was amazing. But anyway, so sad to see you go, Dave. I wish you'd stick around a little more, but it does make it that much more enticing when you do come back around. When you give people a little bit, and then you're gone for a long time, and they want to hear from you again. And so I hope he does come back at some point and kind of do a reappearance again. But that's my review of the two new comedy specials from Dave Chappelle on Netflix. The first one, absolutely amazing. Dave Chappelle in his truest form, his best form. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And the second part, really insightful, kind of philosophical, but not super funny. So yeah, that's it. You guys check it out and let me know what you think. Leave me some comments. Like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. If you're easily offended, it's probably not something you want to watch. But I'm the type of person who can watch anything, even if the jokes were about me, and I would think it's funny because it's comedy, and I love it. I love comedy, and I think it should be left alone. I think it should be off limits when it comes to censoring people. Everyone wants to censor what everybody can do and say, and okay, if you're going to do that as a society, leave comedy alone, because it's like the only place where it can still exist and things can still be real and not censored. So that's my take on that. I hope you guys enjoy the specials. Let me know what you think, and let me know what you think about this new kind of just me talking about stuff that I enjoy or doing reviews and stuff like that. Let me know what you think about that. It's getting kind of dark here. I'm going to head home. I got to be home. I'll be home in a few hours. And yeah, so I just stopped to record this video real quick. I had to take a break, and I figured I'd get this video done. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the Dave Chappelle special. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe. Come back to the channel, because I'm going to be doing all kinds of reviews and just talking about stuff that I like, and I'd like to have that conversation with you. I'd like some feedback as well. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.